Welcome to the Real Agents of Change, where we celebrate and raise up and honor all of those agents of change in the world who are here to serve and really take a stand for those that they are here to serve. And today's guest is a nonprofit creator, Heather. She and I have met in a couple of different venues on Facebook, and I would like to hear from Heather exactly why she is a real agent of change. Heather, what are you here to do in this world?
Hi, Cami. Good morning. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I am a registered nurse, and I've decided through my years of nursing that I see a need in the community to reach out to children and teens and put more programs into schools in the community to help them develop their self-esteem, their resilience. I want them to feel self-empowered. I want them to know that they're important in the world. Even though the world looks like it's falling apart around them, there are people out there who care about them. I feel that they don't really have a voice a lot of times, especially now in the pandemic. They're online looking for resources, looking for somebody to tell them which direction to go. And their parents are just as scared and they don't know what to do. A lot of them are lacking in resources, and that leaves them a lot of times alone in the dark, you know? They don't have people to go to ask, you know, what do I do with this particular situation? This child's bullying me. I don't like the way this looks on my body. It makes me feel bad. Just all the self-esteem issues that we all go through as children and teens coming up in the world. And I live in California, and California is, I don't know if it's worse than the rest of the world, but it feels like it's worse than the rest of the world because everybody feels like they have to live up to this certain standard, and the standard's fake. The standard's not out there. And I've had lots of kids in my ER who want to take their lives, and lots of them are young kids, 12 years old, 11 years old, you know, and the problems that they're talking to me about, they don't seem like big problems to me, but to them, it's their whole world. I mean, it's everything. So.
Well, and I appreciate that you want to give them a voice. And my mission is to help give you a voice, because there's 1.3 million nonprofits in this country. And to be able to stand out and have a voice as a nonprofit is really important. And as we start talking about charitable gifts of real estate, you know, instead of doing the traditional fundraisers and the traditional outreach that those 1.3 million nonprofits are doing, we can actually help you get funded, have fund flowing funds. So what was it about our group, the Real Agents of Change, that attracted you enough to actually sit in on our certification class?
Well, you were the first thing because of, I mean, the way that you present the material. I mean, it seems tangible. You know, you just have to go out there and get the work done and find people to get on the bus with you and want to help your cause. And like you say, I mean, lots of people can be part of this equation. It's not just the charity. It's not just the real estate. It's not just the escrow services. It's everybody. And then to be able to take those resources and give them to the community and out to these kids, particularly for me, would mean the world. You know, the visions I have are huge, and that is going to take funding. And there's plenty of kids that need the receiving, you know, there's a lot of need out there. There really is.
Amen. I hear your struggle with being visionary and having that big mission to take on. I feel that as well. And hey, look, it takes money to make money. It takes money to make the world go round. And so to get this funding, you know, there are generous property owners that are watching this video right now who, when they know that a nonprofit like yours can benefit from the donation of a piece of property, whether it's their primary residence, whether it's a second home up at the lake that the family doesn't use anymore, whether it's a multifamily that they've owned for 30 years and now they're ready to retire. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of property it is. When that property is donated and we list and liquidate it, we give you the cash. And that's what it's all about. So what is something that you learned in the certification class, or since you've been hanging out with us for the last couple of months, that you'd like for our people to know about this whole charitable real estate thing? What do they need to know?
I think that they need to know that there are a lot of people out there who would be happy to spread the property that they don't have any need for anymore and take that money and give it to people who don't have resources. You know, like I said, there's all those, their schools are inundated with parents who are going crazy because they don't know what to do with their kids. They're all at home with them. And because of this, like I said, all of the psychological issues are coming up, the mental health issues are coming up. And there really is no place for them to go. School was the tiny haven they had to maybe have 6 hours a day to get away and maybe have that teacher who was maybe like their parent. Maybe at school there was maybe they don't have any food at home. I mean, and I'm not going into the, you know, my charity is specifically for hunger, but all of that stuff in plays into each other, you know. I mean, if the child is in a home where the parents don't have resources, that leads to mental health issues usually down the line, you know.
Well, talk to us about what your nonprofit does specifically, because, you know, there's a group here in New England called E68, Ending 68 Hours of Hunger, to point to the fact that, you know, kids go to school to eat.
Yeah.
And from Friday afternoon until Monday morning, there's 68 hours where a lot of them are starving to death. So what is it that you actually provide?
So for me, I'm going to provide, I want to open up a center in the community. I want to have classes and curriculum that are in the schools that they come in. And I, like I said, I am a nurse. I am not a mental health professional, but I want to use the funds to gather mental health professionals' expertise and bring them into the classrooms, into the community center that I want to open up. I want a place for all the teenagers to come, all the kids to come once COVID's over. But until then, I want to do a lot of online teaching on my website that I'm developing now, which isn't up yet, that will be up soon. I want to have groups on there for them to come into. I want to invite mental health professionals onto my website that's developing. People to be able to sign up to have group chats with other teenagers, you know, just resources so they feel like they have a tribe, that they have a community. Just because the world is in pieces, I want to make them whole again. And that's what my nonprofit is going to do. It's going to make them feel whole again.
Do you know what kind of budget you need to even get this off the ground?
Thousands of dollars, you know. I mean, I'm talking about a center, so that's a building, that's a structure. So, I mean, even that alone, if somebody were to donate even an empty structure, I could build from that. And obviously the funds to fill with all of the ideas I have, which are plentiful, for sure.
You know, we want our viewers to know that the average donation from a donation of real estate is $550,000. And 99% of the buildings and properties that are donated are not donated for us to move into, for us to manage, for us to actually, you know, to have the perfect property in the perfect location with the perfect structure that would be exactly right for your center would be a real needle in a haystack. It happens. But overall, no matter where your property is in this country, or in some cases around the world, when it's donated, we list it and liquidate it to give Heather the cash to buy the right building. And when the average donation is $550,000, that's way better than, you know, doing a bake sale and asking people to bring a dozen cookies that we can sell for $3 a piece. It's just, you know, there's a lot of people in the Real Agents of Change who are very social, and they love to do the fundraisers and they want to go do those types of things. And the planning turns them on, and getting together is something that makes their heart sing. But at the end of the day, if the fundraiser is not raising the funds that you need, having a lot of fun isn't what it's about. It's about getting the money to get that building, to get those kids the help and the support and the laughing and the engaging and the human interaction that they need. So we just want everyone watching to know it doesn't matter. You can have a property in California or New York or Texas or Florida. It doesn't matter. If this mission speaks to you, we can get the cash to Heather, which is who needs it. So Heather, share with us a little something to kind of lighten the mood. Tell us a little something fun about you that has nothing to do with your nonprofit or your work or where you're from. Just something fun.
Oh, lots of things. I was a marathon runner. That was fun. I stopped doing that because my knees went out. Is that what you mean? Something like that? I have 5 children. I have 3 grandchildren. That's all a lot of fun. My oldest son is 30, so he gave me 2 beautiful grandchildren. So I have a 4-year-old and a new baby girl granddaughter, and then I have another daughter who just had a baby. So I'm loving being a grandma. And
is that what they call you, grandma?
they don't speak well. My 4-year-old grandson calls me grandma, but yeah, the 2 little ones are like 8 months and then 3 months. So, but yeah, that's fills up a lot of my time. I have lots of hobbies. So.
Well, I can see why you're so passionate about helping these kids get the help that they need. You know, there's always a story behind why people do what they do.
Yeah, I watched my kids. You know, my kids are, most of them are older teenagers and young adults, and I watched them struggle through school, and I saw all the, and I still see, all the struggles they go through. My oldest daughter, like one of the things that sparked me to do this was my my youngest daughter is a senior in high school, and she had a friend who actually took his life this summer. So that really was the big push that like I have to do something. I'm watching my own child struggle with the loss of her friend, and then his family as well. So I know that doesn't lighten the mood, but that was really the push that made me say, that's it, I'm doing this. So yeah.
Well, and I appreciate that you are doing it, and you're doing it via Zoom, and you can help kids from anywhere in the country, but you are looking for a physical location. Tell us a little bit about the marketplace you're in and what you're looking for support.
Okay. So the physical location is kind of something I want to do down the line. What I can do now before I can go to physical location, just because of funding itself, is to go into the classroom. And, from day to day with Corona, it's like we don't know where we can go and when. But Zoom gives us the opportunity to reach out to anybody, anytime, anywhere. So, but I still do need the funding for the mental health professionals to connect the kids to them, as well as speaking to them myself. And I just have so many ideas, but this is really what kids need, this right here, the one-on-one. I am looking at you, I am paying attention to you, I am caring about the words that are coming out of your mouth. I'm not the parent or the teacher who's caught up in their own thing. They need this, they need you to look into their eyes and actually listen and hear what they're saying. That's a lot of times, that's all they need. And they tell me this, they tell me this at work. It's like, I don't have anybody to talk to, so I just talk, interaction. That's what they need. They need a real person who really cares about them. And there's plenty of people out there, it's just the connection. And I want to be the one to make the connection for them. I want to help them myself, and I want to help them with resources. And so basically the funding is going to be to get the mental health professionals together and to develop the programs, to go into the schools. I've talked to the local dentist. She's willing to go with me into the schools, because that was one of the things, with the teeth with younger kids, they'll cover their mouth when they're talking because they're embarrassed because their teeth are crooked. So she is also willing to go into this with me and go talk to the kids and the parents and help them get on board with braces. And there's just so many things you can do if you just sit and think. There's just so much need out there. Instead of spending your 2 hours looking at Hulu or Netflix, take those 2 hours and look at your community, look at the people around you. There's so much need, and it's just, you have time, you do have time. Just there's a lot of junk in your life you can cut out and give instead. Give from your heart. There's people who will be in great appreciation, especially at the holidays. People a lot of times are reflecting at the holidays of the loss that they've had, and I see that in the ER. That's, people get really depressed because they think about my nonprofit is to prevent anxiety, depression, and suicide, and that is a lot of times come up during the holidays. So
sure it does.
Just want to be out there I just want to be there for people, and that's all.
Yes, you do, and that energy comes through very clearly. So thank you, Heather, for being with us on the Real Agents of Change. And for those of you who are watching, if you feel like you are a real agent of change, whether you're a real estate agent or a nonprofit or a community leader and visionary, someone who's really called forth to, really move our mission and our method and our madness and our mayhem forward, please feel free to reach out to me and And obviously, if Heather's message is speaking to you, her contact information will be in the description of this video. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Real Agents of Change. Heather, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Cami.